In the heart of a sprawling metropolis where skyscrapers touched the sky and the constant hum of traffic was the city's heartbeat, lived a young man named Ethan. He was a quiet soul, his life a mosaic of mundane routines and forgotten dreams. Every morning, he would wake up in his modest apartment, overlooking the bustling streets, and prepare for another day of work at the local library. Ethan's love for books had always been his solace. As a child, he found refuge in the pages of fantastical stories, escaping the harsh reality of his parents' constant arguments and eventual divorce. His mother, broken by the separation, fell into a deep depression, leaving Ethan to fend for himself. Despite the hardships, he nurtured his love for literature, finding comfort and guidance in the words of authors long gone. Years later, the library became his sanctuary, a place where he could lose himself among the shelves and connect with characters who, unlike the people in his life, never left him. But even within this haven, a lingering sadness haunted him, a sense of unfulfilled potential and a dream he had once cherished, but now seemed forever out of reach. Ethan had always wanted to be a writer. As a teenager, he would fill journals with stories, poems, and musings, each page a step toward a future where his words would inspire others as he had been inspired. However, life had other plans: the burden of caring for his mother, the need to earn a living, and the fear of failure all conspired to keep his dreams at bay. His manuscripts lay forgotten in a dusty drawer. The ink of his aspirations faded over time. One rainy afternoon, as Ethan was sorting through a pile of returned books, a voice broke through his thoughts. It was a soft, melodic voice, tinged with an accent that spoke of far-off places. "Excuse me, do you have a copy of The Little Prince?" He looked up to see a young woman standing before him, her eyes bright with curiosity. She wore a simple dress, her hair tied back in a loose braid. There was something ethereal about her, as if she belonged to a different time, a different world. "Yes, we do," Ethan replied, leading her to the shelf where the book resided. As he handed it to her, their fingers brushed briefly. "It's one of my favorites," he added, a faint smile touching his lips. "Mine too," she said, her eyes meeting his. "I'm Maria, by the way." "Ethan," he responded, feeling a strange warmth spread through him. Maria began to visit the library regularly, each time seeking Ethan's recommendations for books to read. They would talk for hours about their favorite stories, sharing thoughts and ideas that sparked a connection between them. She was a traveler, she told him, always moving, always searching for something she couldn't quite name. As the weeks passed, their friendship blossomed into something deeper. Maria's presence brought light into Ethan's life, a light he had not felt in years. She encouraged him to share his stories, to write again, and for the first time in a long time he felt a flicker of hope. One evening, as they sat together in the quiet corner of the library, Maria turned to Ethan, her eyes filled with a mixture of excitement and hesitation. "I want to show you something," she said, taking his hand and leading him to the rooftop of the library. The city stretched out before them, a sea of lights and shadows. Maria pointed to the sky, where a few stars struggled to shine through the haze of urban life. "When I was a child," she began, My grandmother told me that stars are the souls of those who dare to dream. They guide us, remind us of what we can be. Ethan looked at her, captivated by her words. But how do we follow those stars when the world feels so heavy? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Maria turned to him, her eyes shining with determination. We create our own path, Ethan. We must be brave enough to let our dreams lead us, no matter how impossible they seem. Her words resonated deeply with him, stirring something within. That night, as Ethan lay in bed, he thought about his forgotten manuscripts, the stories he had once believed in. For the first time in years, he opened his drawer and took out the old journals, their pages yellowed with age. He began to write again, pouring his heart and soul into the words, fueled by a newfound sense of purpose. Days turned into weeks, and Ethan and Maria's bond grew stronger. She became his muse, his inspiration, as he crafted his stories with a passion he thought he had lost forever. He shared his writings with her, and she would listen intently, offering encouragement and gentle critiques that pushed him to improve. But as their relationship deepened, Maria became more distant, her visits less frequent. Ethan noticed a sadness in her eyes, a shadow that hadn't been there before. One evening, as they walked along the city's quiet streets, Ethan mustered the courage to ask, "What's wrong, Maria? You've seemed so distant lately." Maria stopped and turned to him, tears glistening in her eyes. "I have to leave, Ethan. My travels are calling me again, and I don't know when or if I'll be back." The words hit him like a wave, the thought of losing her almost unbearable. "But why? Why do you have to go?" She took his hand, squeezing it gently. "Because I'm still searching, Ethan. There is something out there I need to find, and I can't stay in one place for too long. But you have found your path, you have your stories, your dreams. You must continue, even without me." Ethan's heart ached with the thought of saying goodbye, but he understood. Maria had her own journey, one that she needed to follow. "I will miss you," he whispered, his voice breaking. "I will miss you too," she replied, tears streaming down her cheeks. "But I will carry you with me in my heart always." They embraced tightly, both reluctant to let go. And then, just like that, she was gone, leaving Ethan alone on the empty street, the stars above a silent witness to their parting. In the days that followed, Ethan felt a profound emptiness, a void that seemed impossible to fill. But as he sat in his apartment, staring at the manuscripts before him, he remembered Maria's words, "We must be brave enough to let our dreams lead us." With renewed determination, Ethan threw himself into his writing. He worked tirelessly day and night, crafting stories that captured the essence of his experiences, his pain, and his hopes. He poured all his love and longing into his words, each sentence a tribute to the woman who had reignited his passion. Months passed, and Ethan's stories began to gain attention. He found a publisher who believed in his work, and soon his first book was released. It was a collection of short stories, each one a reflection of his journey and the people who had touched his life. The book received critical acclaim, praise for its depth and emotional resonance. Ethan's life transformed. He became a celebrated author, his words reaching people far beyond the walls of the library. But amid the success, he never forgot Maria. Her absence was a constant ache, a reminder of the path she had taken and the one he had found because of her. One evening, as he sat in his apartment, now filled with the signs of his new life, Ethan received a letter. It was from Maria, sent from a distant land. His hands trembled as he opened it, the familiar handwriting bringing a flood of memories. "Dear Ethan," the letter began, "I hope this finds you well. I have read about your success, and I am so proud of you. You have followed your stars as I knew you would. I am still on my journey, searching for that elusive something. But I carry your stories with me, and they give me strength. Perhaps one day our paths will cross again. Until then, keep writing, keep dreaming with all my love, Maria." Tears filled Ethan's eyes as he read her words. She was still out there, still searching, but she had not forgotten him. Her letter was a beacon of hope, a reminder that their connection, though distant, remained strong. Inspired by her letter, Ethan began to write a new story, one about a traveler and a dreamer, their lives intertwined by fate and separated by destiny. He poured his heart into it, each word a tribute to the woman who had changed his life. And as he wrote, he felt her presence beside him, a whisper of encouragement, a reminder of the path of forgotten stars they had once followed together. Ethan knew that he would always miss Maria, but he also knew that her spirit would forever guide him. And with that knowledge, he continued to write, his stories a testament to the power of dreams and the enduring strength of love.